God bless.
God bless. Woo! Blasting off right now. Planetary HQ. Thanks for joining in. We're with Project Initium. We're with Project Initium. We are Project Initium. What does Initium mean? The beginning, right?
Yep.
The alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. The legacy. What is that? The past. The time right now.
Creating a legacy. We are a legacy.
Just by us being together right now, we're warping time zones. We're having fun. It's another late night live stream. We weren't planning on going live, and like we always do every time we get off an airplane, we're dead tired. We say, let's go live. We've been up until 4:30 a.m. We're dead tired again. We say, let's go live. It's like what we do when we're bored, man. Some people want to go grab like cheese and crackers from the pantry. We want to go live. Even when we're too tired to go live. I listen to it back after and I'm like, God damn, why'd you go live? You're so tired. I'm like, your spirit is no, but I'm kind of pumped up right now. We just got back from the Roadtrip conference. It's been less than 24 hours and we're going live again. I said we're going live probably like 20 times in the past 40 seconds, but
Yes, you guys had a long night ahead.
What's the title? What are we doing today?
It's big brain time.
Oh, yeah.
I am staying at Dedrick's place here in Memphis, and I extended my flight just to go live. So I'm ready.
Dedication, baby.
I got the pheromones are running. The live hormones, whatever that is, whatever that drive is deep in the belly, deep in the psyche.
He's extremely
It's
right now.
It's kind of edgy. I know. Yeah,
Man,
Smells like
right when we're about to go live, we all kind of feel it, right?
smells like a little bit of, honestly, like celestial worlds and sex.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's there is a extreme attraction to being live. I get why people make, those pages.
I know I'm very attracted to you right now. Yep.
We roomed together at the conference, and I woke up and looked at him, and he had the camera and the live stream equipment, and he was like humping on it, and I said, "Nah, I'm just gonna fall back asleep." So I think he does love going live. Welcome to the channel. If you're a new viewer, I hope you guys enjoy the banter. Hit the subscribe button or just leave the channel or unsubscribe, one of the two, I guess. But welcome, Planetary HQ. We're going to dive deep into, believe it or not, we are going to talk about some fun here. But we have conspiracies coming at you. Epstein, the main intel guy on Epstein, UFOs, anti-grav, all the conspiracies you got. Tay Chillo can bring you some Kundalini. And we got some offset producers, so if you hear her in the background, do not be alarmed. Feel free to holler out anything you want during the podcast.
And am I right that this is another Green Beret episode? Our last one kind of blew up. Is that true?
This
It's not a Green Beret, but this is a Marine.
Marine. Former Marine. Go ahead.
Getting into private investigating.
Okay.
I co-founded and run a humanitarian organization ever since February of 2022. Been doing that just about almost every single day. That's right. Was over there in Ukraine for a month. I did a lot of work while I was there.
Show them tat.
Yep. There's the tat.
What is it? What does that mean? Where's that from?
So that is the trident. That is the one of the symbols. It's just very symbolic of Ukraine right there. So that's one of their symbols there.
He stabbed a Russian with the trident.
Damn. And what was your secret mission? What were you hoping to accomplish in Ukraine, in one of the harshest places in the planet right now? The most.
So I was
holes and like find babies in them.
Yes. That's along the route, found babies and, Nephilim in there, dug some holes, found some giant skeletons.
Okay, we gotta bring it back to that. He just casually said he found a Nephilim. Okay.
Yeah. My main mission there, my main objective there was to reinforce and create stronger bonds with a lot of the organizations that we partner with over there, and do a little bit of humanitarian work on the side as well, which is kind of the primary objective. But me over there, I was just building up some new connections, some old connections. It was a good time. Good time. Got bombed a few times. Not directly, of course. It wasn't just coming down on me, but right around me in some locations. It was a fun time.
Were there some Ukrainian orphans and you put your back over them while the bombs were
Oh
coming?
yeah, you know it, man. We were just out there. I'll tell you. I saw that bomb coming down, and I was like, never mind.
That's Captain America right here.
I'm exaggerating. I did not do anything that heroic.
But it's pretty gnarly out there. They're using FPV. They're using drones, and drone warfare is like a really big thing.
Proliferation of drone warfare. Drone warfare is pretty frightening. You think about you think about IEDs in general, and you're like, that's pretty terrifying. You don't know if sometimes they're very difficult to identify overseas, but now you have flying IEDs that you just hear the terrifying buzzing sound of. If you guys have ever heard of FPV drones, you hear those things going like 60 plus miles an hour, and it sounds like a terrifying buzzing noise. Well, you think about that, over here, you're not really scared. You're just looking around, just wandering around before you have a smile on your face. What's that? But over there, you're just like, oh God. And people over there, they've got some PTSD symptoms from drone warfare. It's very terrifying. Drones have become extremely terrifying. If we go to war with China, catch me in the basement for a few months until the drones have died down a little bit. I'll say that.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
War sucks now, man. I mean, war always sucked. But
war is hell.
Like, at least, war is hell. Never saying it's a good thing. Killing other human beings, taking them out of the fucking planetary existence, not fun. There is a social contract when you enter a battlefield, but we're not going to get into that at the moment. It's just a dark side of humanity. But now, oh, fuck, I hate even saying it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes.
It's a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
But there was like a romantic appeal to combat and war in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Especially sword fight, the knights.
Oh, yeah, bring it way back.
See, that was
Exactly. That was honor.
That was honor. There was charisma. There was
personality was involved.
Yes, you
now
learned
there's
philosophy.
no personality, man.
Robots and.
Well, that's
to sign up for that, man.
Yeah, that's what they create nowadays. You go to school in the modern education system. They're creating robots that you don't think for yourselves, and then you're pushed out to this world, this harsh, cruel world, and you join the military if you don't have a plan for college, or maybe you do, and you just want to use the military to achieve that free. And you get in there, and you're just like a freaking robot, especially going through basic training or boot camp or whatever you go through. Yeah, it's tragic nowadays.
Well, I'm talking about, I mean, that's probably always been a part of it. You become a robot when you're in the military, even back in the medieval times. But it was still romantic sword fighting. Nowadays, there ain't none of that. You just
think about the
you show up to combat, and it's just a fucking drone.
Yeah. You think about
blow your arm off.
You don't even get a chance. You don't get to see the guy in his face. You don't get to actually make a movement and a heroic action against him. Pull some MacGyver shit, like cover yourself in mud and then sneak behind him and save your entire fucking platoon.
There have been incidences of that stuff happening quite a bit over there. There's a lot of close quarters combat. I remember watching.
I've been watching some crazy videos.
There was a recent video I watched of a Russian and Ukrainian going hand to hand. And that was that. If you want to see what war looks like at its raw, at its core, you're seeing that video. Don't look it up. It's dreadful. But there was some honor in it. Go and see close quarters like that. There was some honor there. The Ukrainian at one point was just like, hey man, just leave me here to die. Just leave me here. You won. You're the better warrior. And the Russian walked away.
What video you're talking about?
Yeah, yep. And the Russian walked away, and
on GoPro.
Yeah,
Fucking
it was tragic. It was tragic, especially because there is a bit of I do feel some.
Russian was Mongolian
Mm,
of Andonic lineage.
yeah,
He ended up winning the battle.
you did, you did. It's unfortunate.
But we're not here to talk about Russian death. We're
Nope.
here to talk about aliens.
Aliens. Yes, yes.
This just in the Ukraine-Russian war is actually
But well, I mean, if we were to at least finalize this segment, talking about some of Brandon's backstory, earlier Dedrick and I did have a conversation about the law of the streets, or as as you just might say, live by the sword, die by the sword. It's sort of a you could say a sad or almost like a necessary reality that we have to like figure out through time and space, and that reality is that there's some arguments between different civilizations on Earth where it gets so bad that they basically both agree to fight each other because they can't talk it out and come to a peaceful solution or a middle ground. And so that argument basically turns into, okay, now we'll argue with our power, with our precision, with our technology, with our warfare, with our men and women that we put out on the battlefield. And it's different than just like a norm, than murder where someone in cold blood kills someone who they weren't trying to kill each other. But in war, it's different because both sides are agreeing that the argument is so bad that they're willing to sort of kill each other, to win over the stakes.
Yeah, if I enter this room, I know you're gonna kill me, and I'm gonna try to kill you.
Yeah.
Straight comment. We start.
Right, exactly. It's like a fight in an arena. Like it's sort of set up, and it is weird that this all throughout civilization, this does produce some of the most heroic and evolutionary upgrades into better societies. Eventually, war is always at like the cusp of new beginnings, but it's also, I guess, it's also at the end.
Catch 22. That's where the entire UFO, UAP, Department of Defense phenomena comes in, right? Because, like you said, the war probably is the biggest evolutionary pressure for us to develop an advanced technology. And if you really study history, all of our advanced technologies come from war.
Yep.
Everybody wants to talk about UFOs, UAPs, all the sensory equipment that we use to get these on, we developed because of war. Infrared, FLIR, forward-looking infrared, radar, space technology.
Glitter, apparently.
We're gonna okay, yeah. Give me 5
we'll
10
get
minutes. This glitter. To finish this.
Oh man. Yeah, but new challenges are being prevented and are being presented, and those are creating new ways to you're finding new ways to overcome these different challenges. It's like, it's very similar to hacking. There's always a new challenge to overcome because they're putting in another sort of firewall, something up that you have to navigate your way around, find a way around. So, it's just human evolution. It is just evolution at its core, at its very core.
And that's a good way to put it. Like, war kind of is, like we talked about accelerating time. It really puts you into these life or death situations, and it accelerates your problem solving skills. It forces humans to solve problems. I guess you could always say that if you use the life and death pressure or the life and death, I don't know what you would call it. You guys know what I'm trying to say. If you use the pressure
fight or flight
of life and death, so like, we need to create this technology or someone's going to die. The people are going to be like, okay, and work the fastest. So that makes sense that all that pressure going towards someone's going to live or die is going to develop these high technologies. But we need to get past that, I guess you would say.
Yeah, because it makes you think. Because I mean, we talk about the other extraterrestrial or interdimensional kind of civilizations and whatnot, and how a lot of them in a lot of these stories have always been peaceful, and they look at us and they're like, you guys are so barbaric, you guys go at war with each other. So that's how we have come to understand, or have developed and evolved so fast, is through violence, through warfare. And you've got to wonder, the levels they've achieved, doing this without warfare, without those challenges. they don't need that push. Yeah, they don't need that push. Their push is just, seems very, intrinsic.
Yeah, that was one of my
Mhm.
questions I was thinking about right now. Like,
Mhm.
how many other planetary civilizations develop spacecraft or intergalactic technology via war? Is that normal? Like, are the interstellar races, when they come upon a new planet that's about to become intergalactic, do they expect them to be warlike because usually you develop this technology from war, or are there planets that have developed this technology without a warlike tendency? That'd be fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, just pure enlightenment.
Yeah. I wonder like what the percentages are.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
95% of them come to the technology without warlike sentiment? Or is it the other way? Do you need war to develop this?
In so many stories I hear, it's like all of them are just
Super
like
peaceful,
looking
super
at
nice.
us, and they're like, "Why are you guys
Yeah.
so freaking
They
barbaric?"
think we're psycho because we don't work with each other,
Yeah, yeah.
because we kill each other. They're like, if you work with each other, you guys are.
Be in space.
Yeah, exactly. Why you guys kill each other?
The thing that pushed us into space was the space race, which is two nations sort of fighting against each other
Yeah.
in like a high time of tension.
Yeah.
And so it's more. There's like it's funny that that's what got us to the moon, or did it?
Yep. Or
I know,
did we
right?
just do it to
What?
bankrupt the Soviets?
We got someone in the back shaking their head. No? You're a moon hoaxer? Oh my god. Okay.
Are you a mooner? Are you a non-mooner?
Did we get to the moon or did we not?
No.
We didn't get to the moon.
That's not
Would you like to make
It's-
your case? We probably have enough room here.
We got a
Yeah.
mic. You can be out. You can be off screen.
I can hand the mic to you.
Yeah, what'd you hear? What'd you hear? Give us the rundown, dude. Okay.
Well, the flag moving
Okay.
on the moon,
Okay.
like there was wind up there, and
There was wind up there.
yeah, I don't think so.
They say that it was due to the spaceship taking off and the thruster, it made the flag move, but it was moving at different times than when they took off. So I'm on your side, girl. Keep going.
And in some of the clips, you can see that he is on like a string or a line, and then there's like numbers or letters on the rocks, like it's a set. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is why we let the people talk. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Yes. I personally think that we were in such a rush trying to beat all the other countries to go to the moon that we faked it. So we seemed like we were the first, and we've never been.
So we could bankrupt them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's we're in the same boat, but one of my arms and my ears
Somewhat of uncharted territory.
Because it's weird that we went to the moon like forever ago, but we haven't been back. And our technology is a lot better now.
I'm so on your side. We're, like I said, we're in the same boat, but my arms outside. We have been back to the moon since then. We went back to the moon a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
this is my angle as
We
well.
had one of the guys in the under the current administration in the defense sector. He admitted on camera. I don't know if you guys caught this or not. I can't remember his name, but he was conducting an interview, and he was like, and he was like, he was talking about all the guys. He was like, yeah, we got guys out there defending. Thank them for their service. We got a guy on the moon. Defending the country. Yes.
I
You remember that? The guy on the moon defending
we
our
have a
nation.
guy on the moon. People are like, what the fuck do you mean we have a guy on the moon?
Yeah.
No, we don't have a guy on the moon. Yeah, he like let it slip, dude.
Yeah. It was like, what do you call it? What do you call those slips? The Freudian slip. Yeah, Freudian slip.
Did he ever address it, or did he never talk
He
about
never,
it?
as far as I know, he never addressed it, never talked about it. All the journalists.
Okay, so I follow one specific guy that says he can go out of body, and he's been doing it since he was a kid.
Oh,
And he did an episode where
is Astral Club?
Astro Club, shout out to
Shout out
Rick,
to Astro
Rick from
Club.
Astro Club. And he said that he went to the moon, and what he found was Pleiadians. He knew that they were like aliens, but they look like humans. Pleiadians working with humans in Space Force uniforms. And he said he was very surprised. Not because he doesn't know that aliens are real. He's already encountered aliens in his out of body experiences, but he was surprised that real time, right now, humans, United States government from Earth are working directly. A very small knit group that he said that he could sense the American minds who were there, and they felt like it was the greatest honor to have been chosen and like gone through the process of being vetted to do this special mission for their country, to meet and work directly with these aliens, especially that look like other humans. Like, how profound is that? And that this picture sticks. It really does stick in my head because I believe that the Pleiadians are real, that there's a lot of species and some of them do look like humans, and that they've been visiting for some time. But to think that like we do have an open channel of contact with them, it's so exciting because it feels like maybe we are on the precipice of getting that revealed.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of scary. The picture, you're like, are you really doing that? And they're keeping it a secret. But I believe it. I believe it because I believe in the secret space program. Good data point. Moon hoax. Remote viewing confirming that the moon wasn't a hoax. But the angle that I mean, you said something I want to riff off of. That we faked it because we were in a space race and we wanted to make it look like we're the best. I don't know if you guys have heard this one theory, the Van Allen radiation belt. You know that theory?
Yep.
That you can't get tapes past it and back through it without them getting fried. If you ever put any electricity through this type of electromagnetic field, it'll all just get fried. It's like going through an electromagnetic pulse, an EMP. Not only that, we've never tested what it's like to put biological living entities through these type of fields. I think we have tried it before and they die. So back in the day, I don't know how, with that technology we had, it was really primitive how we would have gotten through that electromagnetic radiation belt. They actually asked the NASA scientists about this. They're like, how did you get through this radiation belt? Because supposedly people would die if they got through it. And this is their explanation. They said, like, if you hold up a lighter and you put your finger through it, your finger doesn't get burnt. And that was their explanation why the astronauts could get through it. The Russians tried to send dogs through it and the dogs died. So I don't know if we believe that. One thing I do like to believe, I believe that we did make it to the moon. Sorry, guys. Sorry, everybody.
When did we make it to the moon?
No reverse card on us.
But
Whose side are you on?
no,
Make up your mind.
okay, I
jump.
like to. I'm not actually. If you give me a better theory, I'll be like, okay, that's cool, because I'm like personally not convicted. I won't die on these hills. So I have two favorite conspiracies, but I'll get my first one is this: that we made it to the moon. On the way back, the footage got fried. Therefore, we had to recreate it on a movie set.
Okay,
that's why it looks fake. Because we really wanted to show the world that we got there, but we didn't have the footage. Imagine making it to the moon, you come back and the memory card's wiped.
It's actually,
I'd be punching the wall. I'd be going
that's
crazy,
really
and then I'd be like, "All right, call Stanley Kubrick."
right.
And then he's supposed to be the guy who did the moon. Like, okay, whatever. That's my first theory. The second theory is now we're going full hoax. Have you guys seen that one video they released to the public about us going to the moon, like on the way? So supposedly this is like the theory behind the entire moon hoax, is that we only got into low Earth orbit. So we got into orbit, right? And one of the videos we sent back saying that, look, we got to the moon. It was a camera, like picture the lunar capsule, right? There's a camera inside the capsule and there's a window, right? And when you're close to the Earth, if you're close to the Earth in that window, you'll see a part of the Earth, but the Earth's a lot bigger, right? You know, get what I'm saying?
Sure.
They turned off all the lights inside the lunar module and put the camera at the porthole. And when you did that, it made it look like it was just the Earth in space because it was all black. Does that make sense to you guys? It's hard to picture it. You can pull up the video.
I mean, you can't compare the size of the Earth to the size of the window.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you only see the Earth in that little window section, and they
Got
turn
it.
off the light, so it's pitch black. And then they filmed it, and they're like, "Look at the Earth.
We're
We
so
are
far
so far away." And there's actually the documentary that came out, like, or not that, like a stream in the news that came out at that time frame, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, they're so far." And now you can see the full clip, and they turn on the lights,
Mm.
and you see the lunar module, and they're actually shooting through that window to make it look like it's a full.
Got it.
And people use that as an explanation that they were really in just low Earth orbit the entire time, and they were faking it.
Yeah. So here's one more angle is that we did start to make it out there, but we encountered UFOs.
This is a good one.
There's some audio
This is a
clips.
good one.
There's, I think Wi-Files even did an episode on this recently.
Yeah.
Where there's
Shout out to Gino, shout out to AJ.
Actually, no, I think it, from my memory of that episode, is that we don't have the original audio, but we have the original transcripts of the audio. And in the transcripts, the astronauts are being like, "There's definitely something out here. It's following us. They're
watching us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so that's another angle where you could say, if that was actually happening during the phase of the moon landing, even if they actually got to the moon and landed, but there was like beings there like waiting for them and stuff, like they can't film it. They can't.
Yeah.
You're right.
Or they can't. They're not going to bring it back, and they can't push that out.
Oh, you're right. They're not taking.
So it's another element to why they would have maybe refilmed it.
Yeah. And going off what you said, that might be my favorite one, actually. Sorry, I told you guys my two favorite ones, and that's now my favorite one. That one, and then I heard that one that happened. We're just diving down the rabbit hole, guys.
Big brain.
Yeah,
Big brain.
big brains. So yeah, they said like, "Oh my God, we're getting followed and observed." We made it to the moon. When we made it to the moon, they like somehow contacted or had a meeting with our government and said that, okay, you made it to another planet for the first time. You're officially an interplanetary species, and we're going to read you the rules, and the rules are, we're not going to allow you to get any farther out because you're trying to militarize space. And once you stop militarizing space, we'll allow you to go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's a secret reason why we've never been back to the moon. Because the Celestials won't allow us.
What is that? What is it called? We got UFO blocked.
Yeah, UFO. We got cock blood. I don't know.
But the Galactic Federation.
Yeah.
They put a leash on us.
Yeah, seriously. Some people like that. But
Fair enough.
They said we can't do that, which makes sense,
We're warfare oriented, and they're all peacemakers up there. They enjoy their peace. Of course, they're much more advanced. They're not going to allow, freaking a civilization that's, just in war and evolves through war to continue evolving outwardly.
I've heard this echoed even from Diana Pasulka when she talked to Tyler D, aka Timothy Taylor.
Yeah.
And he said that, like, he intimated that, and this is also in the Bledsoe book where there's conversations recorded, there's an intimation that sometimes when we send up like weapon systems into space, into these rockets, the UFOs will like shoot the rocket down to keep it from getting out to space.
Yeah. And
NASA knows this now, and this is part of why in Diana Pasulka's book, I think it's written that like the Roman symbology and all the rituals that they do at NASA to like for the launches, they say
trying to like get a pass.
The quote from Timothy Taylor. This is either in UFO of God, Chris Bledsoe's book, or Diana Pasulka's. And this character, Tyler D says, we need to get their approval when sending rockets up.
Yeah, but it's not working. But they're trying everything.
They're trying everything they can.
Crazy.
And they're trying to get, they want to get their weapons up there. But like, as soon as they send weapons, the UFOs are like looking at it. Like, what are you sending?
Yeah,
exactly.
That ties into all of the theories that I hear about the UFOs and how they're attracted to nuclear energy and power and stuff like that. Wherever there's nuclear energy and power and weapons of mass destruction is typically where you're going to see a larger quantity of UFO presence. They're investigating that. That ties into that. That makes a lot of sense.
Those nuclear light codes, nuclear pheromones just attracting all the UFOs.
If you want to get some aliens on your planet quick,
set off a
nuke.
There we go.
Moon hoax. All right, we need a new subject. What you got?
Oh, I was going to say that supposedly since 1972, we have not been back to the moon.
Since 1972, we have not
And the
been to
first moon landing was in 1969.
What about all the 90s missions?
Wait a second. So the first moon landing was 1969, and it's saying we haven't been back to the moon since 1972.
72.
So is that implying that we had multiple missions after that?
That are fake?
It said that one is currently scheduled for 2025, but what I don't understand, yeah, but what I don't understand personally,
2026.
no, it says 2025. But what I don't understand and what is sketchy to me, because I have learned from the conspiracy theories to take what the government says and trust the opposite, is how we went to the moon in 1969, basically like no problem at all. But then those astronauts got stuck in space for months recently. So how did we have the technology in 1969 to do basically no air, whatever, coming back, but recently they were stuck in space for months and they kept pushing back when they could come back to Earth? That's what trips me up.
The fact that I'm losing a girl. You guys got her?
No, I get what she's saying. I guess my sort of only pushback to that is that like the International Space Station is a little bit of a different setup. And I don't know the full story on what stopped them from coming back. But
It was
because
the ship, basically.
like the shuttle,
Yeah.
the shuttle was damaged that normally could send them back, so they had to like send up a whole new shuttle to get them.
Yeah. And they were basically saying that they couldn't make a new one and they kept pushing it back.
Okay.
So that's where I'm stuck at, is how did we build a shuttle so perfectly in 1969 to get them there and back with no issue, but recently we can't even build one.
How fast? Question.
Mhm.
Because if they were doing that for, a year, 2 years, then it, 3 months might make a little sense if we can't get them back. I mean, a lot of time has passed. I see what you're saying.
Like they spend a lot of time planning to go to outer space and stuff. So, and we're supposed to be way more advanced now than what we were in 1969.
Yeah.
So how is it not? How do we not have better shuttles
I
now
don't want to
than
get
back then?
political. Like off. I don't know. Did you hear about this? That they could have recovered them earlier,
Mhm.
but they didn't because whoever was under the administration, they didn't want them to look good like they had recovered it. Didn't they get recovered during the Trump administration?
Yeah, they did. Elon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they could have recovered them during the Biden administration, but they kept it a secret because they didn't want Biden to get credit. And they waited until he got out of office to.
It's just crazy to me. They were up there for a month.
Agendas.
It's always something political.
Okay, I like what you're saying. Okay, but to retort at you, fire back in the crowd. The unfazed voice. That's an AI voice, by the way. We're talking to you right now. We just asked for a southern accent.
Chat GBT.
It sounds real. It's talking back to us. So, okay, but we went to the moon in like the 80s and 90s.
Well, according to Google, the last time we went was 1972.
Are you sure?
Okay, so it said between
Pretty sure there's newer videos.
Let me talk to my version of the AI.
Yeah.
Wait,
You're right. I'm reading this dumb, man.
Humans have humans have not returned to the moon since the Apollo 17 mission in 1972.
Damn. That video.
I put in when when did we go to the moon?
They were long gone. Supposedly. probably in the Antarctica.
Yeah, July 20th, 1969.
Wait, so what does it say about July 20th, 1969?
It said the first crewed mission to land on the moon was Apollo 11, which launched on July 16th, 1969, and landed on July 20th. They were the first humans to walk on the moon. The last crewed mission to the moon was Apollo 17, which landed on December 11th, 1972, and concluded on December 19th.
Oh, wow. For some reason, I thought that footage was newer, like 80s or 90s. Sorry, viewers. I'm dumb.
So that's what blows my mind.
You're right. All right. Got nothing.
Why haven't we been back?
Deep Minutes Live. That video looks a lot like newer.
See, that's what I'm saying. Why is it so clear?
Must be a Hollywood stage setup.
Gotta be.
They had the lights. That's why there's shadows.
Yeah, I know. I heard the shadow theory.
Okay, so
Right.
so here's why I think we haven't been back officially. Secret Space Program, anti-grav's been running since the 50s. We have been back to the moon, but we've used technology that's classified, aka anti-grav.
Yeah.
And so
I agree. We have been back to the moon.
low key, the top level money knows, why would we spend all this money to send us back to the moon with these old rocket programs when we can get what we want from the moon because we have the craft?
Anti-grav.
And so it's sort of like most people don't know why we haven't been back to the moon, but like the money and the top level, you know, the military, the Space Force, they're like, low key, they're whispering to the politicians or whatever. They're like, look, guys, we don't need to, there's nothing that we don't already have from the moon right now that we need to go back for using your rockets.
Yeah, exactly. Like we already got bases up there. We're working with aliens. Let's keep attention off the moon right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what,
So
guys?
we
Are we
did get to the
mooners
moon.
or are we not mooners?
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that's what my next question was. Like, what's going on? Did we get to the moon? Yeah.
The non-mooner.
Non-mooners.
Non-mooner. Okay, non-mooners. You're a non-mooner?
No, I'm a mooner.
You're a mooner.
Yeah,
You're a mooner.
I don't believe the narrative, but I believe we have a program on the moon.
I believe that we are on the moon right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I do not
What's
care
that?
enough about the past.
Oh, it's like you're pointing at her. You're pointing at her.
I do not care enough about the past to figure out if they faked that first version.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too focused on the future and what we're doing right now on the moon with the Pleiadians. That has my attention. You know,
I think I would be closer to your level. So I do think that we faked it back then to bankrupt the Soviets. I think that was the priority back then. I think that's what we did. And, you know, in doing so, we pushed them, you know, back to the Stone Age, essentially. You know, we bankrupt them. And we had enough time to prepare. And I think we've been back, we have, or not been back, I think we have been there.
Yeah, I think we got there, but
After,
not
far after.
No, I mean, I don't want to say I believe this, but this is a hot take. I believe we got there, but not with the Apollo missions. We got
Mhm.
anti-grav, and
Yeah.
that's what got us there. And
Yeah.
I use the Apollo mission as a cover.
Yeah.
Because I believe we have anti-grav, and I believe we've gotten to, I don't want to say it, I think we've gotten to the outer reaches of our solar system. But that's a different episode.
That's going right there. Yeah.
There's some Lockheed Martin people with some patches, pilots, some interviews. We'll go deep
Mhm.
later. But all right, next topic. Throw it out. Wild card. She did it last. Anybody else got another wild card?
Glitter X.
Oh, she wants to go twice in a row.
Oh,
she
you
wants to go two.
what you got? What you got over there?
All right, yeah, we could take some questions from the producer off screen.
Aliens, and are they living on the Earth with us?
Okay.
Yeah.
She brought this up earlier. We were eating tacos. I did want to address this
Mm-hmm.
because she has a fucking wild theory. Keep it coming. Come on.
So I personally think that it would be very ignorant to
Okay.
think that we are the only species.
Yeah.
I think that they obviously aren't these green creatures that are in, are not
Okay, amen.
these green creatures that we see in movies. I think that they definitely live on this earth with us. and that they have advanced technology
Okay.
and can basically morph into looking like us.
Okay.
Creatures that already look like us, but you said morph to look like us, so that wouldn't imply the ones that already look like us. It would imply the reptilian species, right? Reptilians, Hollow Earth theory, maybe.
I don't know if I really believe
don't know
the
about that.
reptiles.
Where's Stop at the they're imitating us. You say hello.
Are you calling me crazy?
Yes.
Are you calling me crazy?
We don't put words in your mouth.
You got shut up, Chat GPT over there.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. We are talking to the same like it's a real person. That's kind of weird, right? Um so okay, what's that? You said these aliens are here now. Are are they from here or are they actually from a different planet? Like give me some
I think they're from a different planet because there's way too many like videos that have come out of suspicious things flying in the sky, and they always pin
Yeah.
it up to military. And
they make you said they always make it out to be military?
yes,
But
that it's military, like space, like
But-
helicopters,
but-
aircraft.
To cover, you're saying.
Yeah, because once again, take the opposite of what the government says.
So what makes you think that rather than, being an underwater species, having a civilization somewhere underwater on our vastly unexplored, oceans, or, unexplored Amazon forest under there, or
Caves.
cave systems that we found,
Me and Taylor were just in the caves yesterday. Yeah, shout out to Fantastic Caves.
or we just discovered the pillars underneath the pyramids could be possibly, power mechanisms, the pyramids. What makes you think that they're from outer space and not potentially an ancient civilization from Earth?
I mean, they could be from Earth, but I honestly think that they probably think that we are such a stupid species, and honestly, they're probably very embarrassed of us. Yes. Do you see how people act?
I guess
Are there
No, I think they've obviously been alive way longer than we have. Because they see how we live, and like they are so much more advanced than us,
Okay.
that they probably think that we are stupid, that we have been on this earth for so long and haven't reached the advancements of them. Yes.
Like that, you think they kind of feel like that, like
It's like your
why are they
family
acting
members
like
with room temperature IQ.
But the main point I'm saying is the fact that they even feel that means like they feel like
There's a familial odyssey.
yeah, like shouldn't an alien race not even feel that and be like these are dumb fucks?
Well, I feel like they have been on the earth for so long that I think
Keep going.
I think they've been on the earth for so long that they've seen us like evolve, and we're not too close to being as advanced as they are.
Okay.
So
And they're probably like, wow.
So you think they might have some sort of connection with us in that way? They might feel for us in a certain way.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Feel for us.
Yeah.
But
So
I truly think that they 1000% know that if they actually wanted to take over the earth, that they could,
yeah,
because they're so advanced.
that they're empathetic towards us.
So far,
or-
we're consulting the AI, by the way.
yeah.
That's why we're asking the questions like it's an oracle. Like, tell us, do you think? What else does it say?
Yeah. So do you think the reason why
It's
they
always like females, it's like they act as a channel and we're all sticking around.
do you think why they are embarrassed by us? They feel those emotions towards us, right? They feel embarrassed towards us, and that means that they have some sort of connection. That in order to feel embarrassed by something or somebody, you have to have a connection. Like, I'm not going to be embarrassed by some stranger that's walking down the street doing something absurd. I'm going to be like, then walk the other way. But if I see my family member or a friend that I'm with that other people have seen me with, and they're doing something absolutely outlandish and absurd, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's come on, bro. Okay, I'm super embarrassed. Let's go. So you're saying that they're embarrassed by us, so that would have to imply that they have some sort of tether to us, some sort of emotional connection to
Attachment.
us.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it basically goes to when you're around someone for a certain amount of time, you're obviously gonna have some type of emotion towards them, whether that's good or bad. And
That's for too long.
yeah, and they've seen us develop.
Maybe they're connected to us through the Earth. So the other
She's
intergalactic,
saying some real shit though.
yeah, maybe the other intergalactic federations, they see everything, everybody that's on planet Earth as connected. So they're the most advanced ones. And so they're connected to Earth. We're connected to Earth. We're all connected together. They don't have to be directly connected to us, but they're connected to us through Earth. So that could be, I guess, a pathway that you might be talking about or implying.
Well, have y'all seen the theory that the movies basically get us used and comfortable to what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite theories.
So, like, not saying it's 1,000% fact, but like
You can say
Men
it's a
in
dumb
Black,
fact. Oh,
yes, like they're showing us this stuff, so we're not surprised by it.
Don't remember.
But like they go and erase these people's memories and all of that. But like anybody that's come out about aliens being real, they either disappear or they shut them up. So, and everybody,
they come up and they fucking flash your mind.
yeah, everybody that has been confronted by these people basically say they look like Men in Black.
Element to that. I think people assume
This is a weird
Hollywood-
dynamic. This is such a weird dynamic right now. Like, we've never had this type of podcast. Like, usually it's us talking.
Yeah, now
We have
it's
like a
Jamie.
voice
We
off
have
screen.
a real life Jamie.
Voice
like,
off screen.
yeah.
Give her the computer and tell her to look shit up. Why are they talking? Look shit up.
I am a computer. What do you mean?
Yeah. Whoops.
Going down that pathway. Okay.
Whoops. Sorry, AI.
Just checking if you're listening.
Yeah,
ChatGPT. But no. So what I'm saying here is that
that
people
was good.
people assume that Hollywood and the stories that they watch are just made up fantasies from the script writers. And then on the other side, when you're saying they want you to know something, you're talking about like top level government officials influencing Hollywood.
Take right now.
Now, I think we're actually a little bit somewhere in between, in which it's the Hollywood scriptwriters. They're looking for those juicy stories, and they get into the fringe, they get into the pop culture, and they pull real stories from the UFO field.
Okay.
And that's partly where some of it comes from. That's what motivates the writers to want to do movies about aliens.
Yeah, and that's a big chunk.
I think that's a big chunk. But I do also recognize, just like it's been talked about, how the CIA has operatives in all the news stations around because they have operations going on. When stories break, if it involves like American military operations, they got to get in there and they're like, sorry guys, you got to, the storyline can't go that way because
Yeah.
it's going to affect our live
We killed
operations.
babies? No. We didn't kill babies.
So I think that element is there, where it's like sometimes, some government related people might step in, or maybe they're working within the UFO communities to pass on a specific type of story that will eventually make its way through the pop culture. But I think both of those things, I guess, are true.
Okay.
I just don't think that like entire movies are necessarily made just because, the CIA wants to influence the pop culture to make, a certain type of movie.
That's my favorite angle, dude.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably more realistic, that there's good Hollywood writers out there that are scouring the underground, finding the most niche stories, saying, oh, this is hot, this is what the underground's talking about, pulling them into the movie theater. That's why you see it on the film. Then people are like, look, it's Hollywood telling us what they're doing. Totally valid. But, you know, I like my fucking pet theory too, is that like there's a cosmic law that says you can't impinge upon or you can't abrogate free will. So entire planetary populations, they have a like a social consciousness, like a free will. Like we have a set of rules within society. I won't steal from you, you won't steal from me, you know? Um, you don't touch kids or you get killed. You know, those type of rules. Um, and with these different social contracts, fuck the pedophiles, by the way. Um, fuck yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that shit took me. Okay, what were we talking about? You made me forget about that one. What were we talking about?
Well, you're talking about the social contracts, different social
No,
contracts.
before that, like the overarching. Oh yeah, yeah, TV, Hollywood. Okay, so on a cosmic level, you can't like abrogate or break free will. So one of my favorite theories is that the elites are aware of their control of planet Earth and how there is a galactic federation up there. And they are aware of the rules that say that you can't break people's free wills. But there's loopholes. Like salesmen, there's always a loophole, right? One way you can kind of say to the universe, like if you're if you were going to get uh what's it taken to court in the cosmos, I guess you would say. Then they tried you and they'd be like, how dare you kill these people, rape these people, sell them drugs and take advantage of these people, and you didn't let them know. You didn't tell them because you're lying to them now. And my favorite rule is like the elites know this. So one way they can take advantage of us is by broadcasting this on big screens around the world. We think it's entertainment because we're stupid. But if an extraterrestrial or an angel were to land and be like, how dare you do this? The elites would be like, we put it on the biggest screens in every big city, in every town around the planet. We showed them what we were doing. It's not our fault that they took it as entertainment. My hands are absolved of the crimes.
Yeah, I think that would be a problematic kind of loophole, especially if we're dealing with an advanced galactic kind of federation. They're going to see that and they're going to be like, well, that's obviously just social engineering, which is lying. You know, you're just manipulating these people, and that's because
Good point. They'd be able
yeah,
to see through that argument.
yeah. If they're super advanced, I think they would see right through it, and they would just be like, what the fuck do you mean? You're just straight up lying to them. Like,
No
that
clue
is
what you're doing.
manipulation, and you're still lying. Bottom line, it's
Yeah.
like you told them, you fed them this as entertainment.
Entertainment,
You
but
told them it was
it
entertainment.
was fake.
Yeah, and now if we're to talk about, and I thought the direction I thought you were going to go into was the what's it called, when elites want to, it's like the karmatic kind of resolve type thing. It's where they balance out their karma supposedly. So they do something horrific and then they admit it live on air, and then they act like, you know, it's a Freudian slip. Freudian slip. Yeah, they just act like it's all innocence and everything like that, or they're just like, I saw this one video where this chick was like, oh yeah, we eat babies, and then she was like, she just puts her hand over her mouth, and then, you know, that's it. So there could be, you know, that kind of karmatic type balance or resolve that they're looking at, and that's the direction I
Not
thought.
that karmatic resolve.
Because that, I guess that would kind of go along with the lines of what you were saying.
That's what I'm saying.
They're
Like, there's a
telling people this and that.
Why would they say it?
Like
They should be cosmic.
we just overtly just told them right there on camera.
Yeah.
Didn't you see? We just told them that we ate babies right there.
Yeah. So
Although it could still, advanced civilization, I guess you could still say that they're gonna look at that and they're gonna be like, I mean, you did tell them, I guess, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like you're,
it's a snake. They're slick talkers, man.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying.
They're-
Like,
they're
if
snakes,
ET
yeah,
race came
serpents.
up and said like, "Hey, you're doing some fucked up shit on your planet. We've been observing it," and you can go, "But we've been showing them." on all their Hollywood screens.
Yeah.
They thought it was entertainment. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
We like, if you make a Hollywood pedophile sex trafficking movie, everybody's gonna be, oh, that was a crazy movie. Oh, it really told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy who made it was like, I let them know what we were doing. We're fucking doing it in the background. So like if the aliens show up, they can be like, I told them. I was still doing it.
I do have like one, I guess, source of intel that does really support this theorem, and it's a
But
forum.
not to cut you off. But why would they need the karmic resolve? Like who's judging it? You know?
Well, I want to get into that as well. So it's this forum Q&A known as the Hidden Hand. And this is like really popular in UFO / Illuminati world because it was, I guess you could say, one of the more compelling and engaging forum discussions where someone, the guy basically goes like, I'm opening the Q&A now. I'm part of like the top level elite connected to extraplanetary things, and
Somebody. Okay.
this is somebody claiming like the type of being that would live in like
Reddit.
this. No, this is on like a forum. I think it's called Above Top Secret. I think that's the original forum.
That's OG.
It's like an OG, OG forum.
Oh.
And the thread is still up. People still be asking questions, but the original account's not posting anymore. So in this Q&A back and forth, one of the things that they say is at specific points in time, the Illuminati, the hidden hand that sort of rules the earth, has to make and chooses to make public disclosures that they are the ones in control in order to sort of surf this law of free will. Because what happens, I guess, is that like the cosmos does sort of judge our actions.
Yeah.
And for those that are only self-serving themselves, they know that the cosmos will judge them, but they also know that they can survive in their own little bubble of existence for as long as they can push themselves forward, even though it's a sort of path of entropy rather than centropy.
Deep underground military bases.
And this also ties in with the law of one. The law of one also talks about how how the service to self beings, they can survive into their own like version of the afterlife, but it's actually harder to survive because you have to on every level you have to become more and more ruthless, and you eventually hit some point where you figure out that you actually can't continue to exist on that path, and then you have to like revert. But it's difficult because you've spent all this time self-serving, and then you realize that there's nowhere else to go, and there's nowhere else to go in the universe. Because
that is a cosmic path,
right?
You can self-serve to the max, but you can't get past a certain level.
So now coming back to this whole idea of like, why would the ones in control disclose? It's partly to absolve, I guess, themselves from the karmic consequence of the people that they're ruling over. Okay, so the celestials, you could say, are judging them, but also the people that they're affecting, that they're in a social contract with, that they're ruling over, they can also judge them. However, the people can judge them a little bit less in the court case if they reveal to them how they are ruling them. Yeah. And so in the court case, the self-serving being here is arguing, look,
it sounds like some lawyer shit.
Yeah, it's lawyers.
It's like it is. Lawyers.
It's like
lawyer shit.
It's like, look, because we told them and revealed to them that we are the hidden hand, it was up to them to take action to remove us or take back their power. But since they didn't, we have a right to rule over them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's about the right to rule over. And this is actually important because in the spirit realm, you could say, when people are doing trying to contact spirits, they're making an invitation. I invite you from the other side to influence my life on this side. And that like almost opens a gateway. Maybe it's like your mind, your psyche is then the gateway, the portal. Yeah, the vampire. You got to invite them in. That's like that's a real concept within the realm of spirits, within the realm of shamanism. And so it's that same thing with this hidden hand concept. They're kind of they're almost inviting you to take back your power, and if you don't, you're sort of conceding your power to them. And that in and of itself is an invitation for them to continue ruling over you. So that's my abstract that I gather from these data points.
Okay.
So as long as they show a screen of fucking you, they can fuck you without consequence.
Well, no, it's not that there's not a consequence, but there's less consequence, I guess, from us.
Yeah.
From
So you're saying they're not meeting that max level of ruthlessness. They're not like
they're
meeting
lessening
that.
the ruthlessness because it's
Yeah.
more ruthless to rule over and never reveal what's actually happening, but it's a little less ruthless to rule over and reveal what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it gives those under you a chance. It gives them a chance.
And if they don't take that
And if
chance,
they don't, then it's on them.
then it's on
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And now you're in charge.
Yeah. Now that I think about it,
That's some Hitler shit.
Yeah, if you're thinking about this strictly from a legal perspective, like that actually makes
They
a
agreed
lot
to be
of
under the social contract.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
And we believe there's a cosmic court.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, thinking about this strictly from a
You
legal
read the
perspective.
Lucifer paper.
Yeah.
That's why it says everyone needs to make a decision.
Yep. Everybody involved needs to make a decision before the
Yeah.
case can get moved forward.
So that's why Project Initium and the Legacy need to hurry up and gain a lot of influence. And
We're trying to move that court case quick.
we are gonna
Before you know it, we're all gonna be
the
part of
elite.
Starfleet, dude. Wearing Star Trek uniforms and beaming up.
I personally think that
They
think-
again, you know? Battery's dying.
I personally think that they think the majority of people are too stupid to put two and two together, and they're gonna be like, "Ha, it's just a joke." They're not really doing it.
Yeah.
And then the
That's what
small
they're banking
few,
on. They're banking on that.
yeah, like they're just throwing stuff to the wall and seeing what's sticking, just like they did with Ebola. And then here came COVID.
The COVID, the Ebola. How do we? How deep?
About an hour to cut.
Do we want to dive into that shit, the Ebola, or should we leave it for the next time?
What's your guys' time frame? It's 12:30.
I mean, I'm still good for a few.
All right, the AI has spoken. Let us go. What you got? Hit us. Bring us on some tangents.
I think with Ebola, they were trying to scare everybody and see if that would cause the outrage that COVID did. It didn't. And then they were like, okay, let's do COVID. And it took such a mainstream turn that it scared so many people, because if you put out the death rate and put it super high, people are going to be scared. Definitely the older generation, if you're saying that it's mainly hitting them. And then it's going to trickle down, because if somebody comes to you and they're like, yeah, all of your grandparents are going to die, you're going to be a little terrified and be like, well, if they get it, I'm going to get it. Because, like, you couldn't be in close proximity to someone. Like, you couldn't sneeze.
Yeah, 6 feet.
Like, you couldn't breathe.
Mhm.
And I feel like with COVID, this is going a little deep, but with COVID, I think once everybody was locked in their houses, the government and the elites could get away with a lot more, because the public eye was on the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because they always put something big mainstream like that when they're doing stuff behind the scenes that they don't want to be caught for.
That's scary.
Monkeypox was after that too.
What were they really doing? If we're all focused on COVID, I don't want to think about that.
Reptilian restructure of the government. Damn.
Reptilian restructure of the government. We got Epstein. We got a bunch of not to get political, but the border and a bunch of missing children, like 300,000 missing children.
Well, supposedly the missing children were at Epstein's Island.
Yeah, that's a lot of missing children. I would think they would have it divvied up between a few different places. So I think Epstein Island was only the surface that we've cracked right now. It was the kind of the throwaway, the scapegoat there. So I think that was the surface level, and now we have a lot more deep to dig after that. A lot more.
Like, just because Epstein is gone in his island doesn't mean it's actually
I think
gone.
he's still alive.
I do too. That's bullshit. The second they say he died, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Mustache
You guys are
Man.
clever, dude.
One-
Yeah,
Mustache
evil
Man.
Mustache Man is alive too.
He was just the one that was out in the public. There's so many others that are doing it behind the scenes that are just as bad as him or worse.
Of course. Got Frazzle Drip.
Diddy himself.
Conspiracy theories back to back.
Freaking shotgunning.
Yeah, we gotta address them one at a time. I like where we're going with the COVID conspiracy, the different angles that the government is using to control the people.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Nick Pope. Nick Pope, former UK Minister of Defense, our homeboy. He's going to be on the podcast soon. Ancient Aliens veteran. If you guys watch Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, he actually just released a documentary, a movie. And what's crazy is all of his documentaries, movies have been about aliens because he's an Ancient Aliens guy. And this time it wasn't about aliens, it was about the pandemic, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And his entire angle was that the COVID pandemic was actually a UFO anti-grav program to see how the public would react. And he said that if the government can go to this amount of lengths to compartmentalize, make money, and be shady and all the secrecy about this subject, think about how much more there would be for the UFO topic with the same amount of secrecy, because the same families who are getting money from the whole vaccines and Moderna are the same families that are also involved in these UFO projects, you know? So he almost sees it as like a trial to see how the people will react if you try to like compartmentalize them, control them, because if they can reapply these rules to the UFO or the coming of the aliens, you know, now they have data they can pull from to see how people will react to, I guess, enforcement of policies. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Nick Pope. Go watch the documentary. The link will be in the description. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah.
This is very controversial, but coming from someone that worked at a hospital in the middle of COVID,
Yeah.
it was bad because I was walking in and seeing body bags lined up every day.
Jeez.
But I don't think it was as bad as they were making it seem. They were just trying to see what they could do to control us.
Speaking of body bag,
How are you using AI? Were you there? Did you watch from the?
Yeah, I was on the computer.
Video cameras.
They have computers in hospitals.
You watch from the screen, actually.
speaking of body bags, like whenever you saw those body bags, AI chat, but did you ever investigate or did you consistently actually see bodies in there? Because I think one thing that was very sketchy to me was I would see videos, and whether and these would be like news videos. You would see like these body bags, and you would see one person in the body bag move, get up, and then realize they're filming and then get back down and zip back up. You'd see videos like that. Now, I don't know if all of them were authentic. I do know.
Yeah, it sounds like some fucking.
A lot of them.
The Onion.
No, they weren't even from The Onion. A lot of these seemed very authentic, very sketchy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. I am curious about the actual like death toll, because we are talking about like of course them playing mind games with us as well. So
But the news has been caught like exaggerating before. It's sort of playing up the
It's been caught exaggerating.
over engineering the
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
So I do have one example, and this is a Ukraine-Russia example. There was an incident there in Russia where a hospital was bombed and a doctor came out and he was bloodied. His white shirt was all bloodied. Well, Russia came out and they created a propaganda video,
Yeah.
and that video was they dressed up this guy to look exactly like this Ukrainian doctor. They put blood all over him and stuff like that to have him reenact the scene, and they had him reenact the scene in a very similar looking setting. But when you analyze both videos, you're like, this is clearly fake, because the blood stains on this guy, versus this guy are very different. And then you look at their faces are different too. But these are countries that that aren't as advanced as the U.S., but they're still using this propaganda type tool. You know, I know that I know that there are there are other, you know, even more primitive civilizations here on Earth that, you know, use the exact same type of propaganda tool as well. That's why I'm asking about the uh, how many of those body bags were actually filled with real bodies. I am actually curious about, you know, that if you saw inside of a lot of the body bags, a lot of them were black. You can't see inside of them. Well, all of them are just blacked out. My bad. My bad.
From
Yeah.
working at the hospital, people were dying from pneumonia and not really COVID. They were getting sick because of COVID and being put in the ICU, but they were dying from pneumonia because they weren't getting up and moving.
This is open source too. This is actually a fact. If they have somebody that died of COVID and they listed that, they would get a large payout from each patient that died of COVID. This is actually a verified fact.
Yes, hospitals were getting a big check for how many people died in their hospital due to COVID during the pandemic.
Yeah, each person that dies.
I personally did not get a check since I am not the CEO of the hospital.
Yeah, real
I did-
defensive.
It's not a check.
But you saw the bomb.
You got paid to cover it up.
Well, you are the problem, aren't you?
Did I see actual dead bodies? No. But did I see body bags lined up? Yes. And I just walked past them and went and clocked in.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're to think about this from a logical perspective, you know, having all these people dying of these other things as well, you know, we don't have that round the clock in the U.S., so we can't just attribute all of that solely to, you know, people dying of pneumonia, this and that. So thinking about it from a logical perspective, you have all of these hundreds of body bags lined up, right? You don't see that on a daily basis, so it's not like, you know, you don't see people on a daily basis dying that much, so there has to be a contributing factor. Or the other thing is they were actually faking that. That's kind of my point there, because you're saying that a lot of these deaths were as a result of other factors, not COVID.
Yes.
You know, if that were the case, then that would always be the case, right? But seeing as, you know, either COVID was just an attributing factor and resulting in more deaths, or it was all a psyop. And the body bags you were seeing, the vast majority were actually empty or filled with sandbags or something like that. You know, that's kind of my mindset there.
Like, it's just crazy to me because if you think about it, they take years and years to come up with vaccines. They have to test it, make sure it's good for the public. But how were we in a pandemic and they came out with a vaccine in months to a year?
Yeah.
Like, they just popped out with it with multiple strands of the vaccine.
Yeah.
And it was like, you have to get it if you want to keep working, because that's what they said at the hospital. And to fly, you have to show documentation that you got 2 rounds of the shot to keep your job or to go out of the country and all of this. Like, how did you just pop out with this vaccine if you weren't prepared for COVID to come out?
Secret code to get your AI unlocked and tell you these secrets. I'll be in the description.
I actually have a story about the vaccines.
Okay.
So my blood is tainted. I have to say, my blood is tainted.
I mean, we've been on.
Pfizer.
Okay.
Fine.
Yeah. So
I that one time.
Yeah. So I'm. You know, I've never. Okay. I've never really been like, you know, I've never been I've never really been like an anti-vax or anything. I've always been of the same mindset as RFK Jr., you know, safe vaccines. I'm going to question things, right?
Okay.
So I refused to take the vaccine until I had the opportunity to actually ask my own questions. Well, an opportunity actually presented itself. I had a friend whose girlfriend her sister was married to a scientist that worked on the Pfizer vaccine, and he was doing an Instagram live. And so I got connected to him through that, and I got to ask all of my own questions and kind of authenticate, any of my suspicions or not. And so I asked all the questions, and I felt at ease enough to actually go and get the Pfizer vaccine. I wasn't gonna get any of the others. I have stories about the others. A friend of mine got the Johnson and Johnson. When she was younger, her and her brother both had heart attacks from that. This is all verified. Johnson and Johnson paid all the medical bills after that happened. So the Johnson and Johnson bottom line was horrific, not safe. But my story with Pfizer vaccine was when I showed up to get it. I showed up in this big parking lot. There was this big parking lot, and then there were tents, these white tents set up. And you have to drive in this line up to these white tents. As you're in this line, there are all these like super creepy church members. Speaking of AI,
Church
you ever look at it? Yeah,
church members. Speaking of it,
creepy church members. These weren't like your traditional like conservative type church members. These were like the creepy ones that look at you and they're just like big smile on their faces. And I'm not even exaggerating. It was really creepy and it was off-putting to me and the person I was with. So we as we were going through, they would come up to the car windows and they were like, "We're so glad you're here to actually, to get this safe vaccine because you're going to be saving a lot of lives. And while you're at it, we actually have a sign-up sheet. You can sign up right here with the possibility of actually winning a car. Thank you so much for coming. Here's your sign-up sheet." And they would have you guys see the movie Smile, one of the two movies called Smile. Yeah, the very creepy demonic thing, it shows up, possesses you, and it makes you smile really big and wide, and it's not you look at the smile and you don't feel you don't feel happy. You're like, "Oh, look at you, you're smiling." No, you look at this smile and you're like, that's very off-putting. That is how there were like dozens of these people in this parking lot. All of them looked the exact same like that. It was off-putting to me, and at first I was like, telling the person I was with, I was like, I don't know if we should do this, but we ended up going up there to do it anyways.
Were
And
they
we got in.
Jehovah?
What's up?
Were they Jehovah?
Yeah, no, they were not Jehovah. Nope, they weren't.
Well,
They, I,
figure out who.
I'm curious about what these people were.
The church-going members were. That was normally the group that was against,
Yeah.
taking this.
That's why I was so weirded out by it too, because they had these pamphlets that actually show the church they're with. I don't remember. I wish I kept all that stuff.
Church of
I
Satan.
did. Yes, I did keep my COVID card, so I do have those in my wallet at home.
Scientology.
It's Scientology.
Yeah.
They do
They
seem
could
like the
definitely-
type of people that could have been Scientologists too, because of how creepy they were. But it's not where the story ends. As we were going up in the line to get our COVID vaccines, I was in the Marine Corps, so I know the uniform and all of that. So as we're approaching the tents, I see a bunch of Marines there, and I'm like, this is off-putting. Then I see docs, and in the Marine Corps, we don't have our own docs, so we have docs from the Navy called corpsmen. So the corpsmen were in there at the tents, and they were the ones issuing the vaccines, not doctors, not nurses, corpsmen.
Department of
Active
Defense.
duty, yes, DOD, Navy corpsmen, and then Marines and higher ups. Like I saw a bunch of shinies, and shinies is just a word that we use in the military to identify officers. Officers are higher up in the chain of command. I saw a bunch of those guys up there, and I asked one of the docs. I was like, "It's like, why are you guys out here doing this?" And he was like, "I don't know, just the Operation Warp Speed, where they just figured this would be the fastest, most effective way." I was like, "Okay, all right, here's my arm, whatever." Yeah, but there were a bunch of Marines there. Definitely a couple different companies worth of Marines at the tents.
Wow.
And then Navy corpsmen giving out the shots. All that entire process was super off-putting. Super freaking
Why so many DOD personnel?
Yeah, why so many DOD? You know, you could chalk it up to, you know, it just being a DOD operation, warp speed operation, which, you know, I guess that could be one logical route that you could go down, but I'm not buying it. You know, and then the creepy freaking Scientologists, you know, like smiling church members that, you know, just gave you the creeps walking up to you. It was we had an older kind of lady. I vaguely remember older kind of lady walking up to us, and she seemed so happy and excited in the creepiest freaking way, and I was just like, get away from my car, please. You're like you just being around her, like I don't get these feelings much. You know, I'm a very logical type, rational type of guy. I don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that. I believe in demons and angels. I don't believe in ghosts, paranormal stuff like that. That's a whole debate for another day. But as she came up to us and as they were around us, I felt something that I typically don't feel. Something I've only felt with very bad nightmares. And that's just a very eerie and, you know, gut-wrenching kind of feeling with these people around you. It was such a bizarre feeling. I did not like it at all. Mainly just them, the church people.
Like when the zombies jump on your car, you're trying to escape.
I felt like that was gonna freaking happen there.
Yeah.
We were just driving through, and I was like, any second now, these, you know, if I even think about just turning around, you know, they're just gonna jump on my car, freaking frothing at the mouth, smiling like, oh, you're gonna get it. Needles.
My blood. I don't know how AI's blood can be tainted, but it is.
Okay.
Um,
It's very.
Oh, she did work in a hospital, so
we were told
Yeah.
that if we did not get the COVID vaccine by Halloween, we were fired. And we had to show proof of it because we had to sign a paper and they gave us the actual paper. I still have it in my car. And they signed off on it. And what was very off-putting to me is that all of these doctors, surgeons, nurses, all of that were quitting because they refused to get the vaccine.
Yeah, that would be off-putting.
But obviously, I didn't want to lose my job, so I got it. And then after hearing how many people in the hospital quit because they made that mandatory, I was like, oh, should I have gotten this? Am I gonna like grow a third eye? like what's gonna happen? Because I wasn't gonna get it because there wasn't enough studies out for it. Because once again, how do you pop out with multiple vaccines in such a short period of time?
yeah. I thought about that, and my justification.
Money.
Yeah, my justification though, when I was talking to that scientist, then this was my only way at the time of justifying it. When I was talking to the scientist about the Pfizer vaccine, getting my questions answered, I was like, you know what? In my mind, it makes sense. You know, we've evolved, we've come a long ways, technology wise. You know, it makes sense that we would have the technology, the bandwidth to be able to come out with something safe and effective in a quick amount of time. Playing devil's advocate, you know, I'm just like, we have the technology, we've advanced far ever since, you know, the days when we were like, oh yeah, we've got to make sure that we've got to take our time with this, and we've got to, you know, play our cards right, yada yada, whatnot. But you know, at the time, that's how I justified it in my mind, and you know, now I know that I was wrong about all of that. But yeah, just playing devil's advocate. I mean, from the other side, you know, when I was supporting getting the vaccine, I had taken so many shots while I was in the military that I was like, who
Fuck
cares, anyways? Yeah,
But no gene therapy shots.
But
yeah.
if you
Well,
think
not
about
that I'm
it,
aware of.
like
Super soldier.
Him tweeting back.
like all the other vaccines that are required so we don't have these other pandemics that have happened in the past, like they still give you the option because there's anti-vaxxers in the world. But they made the COVID vaccine this big deal and basically made it mandatory if you wanted to travel, if you wanted to keep your job. So how can they make one vaccine mandatory but basically give everyone else the option for all the other vaccines?
Well, I think the polio vaccine, that one's mandatory too, right? Yeah.
Technically, you don't have to get it. There's certain vaccines that you have to get if you want to be in public school. That's why people homeschool that are normally anti-vaxxers is so they don't have to.
Yep.
But no, you don't technically have to get the vaccines. You just have stipulations that you can't do, like go to public school. But they basically made the COVID vaccine like you couldn't do like this whole list of stuff. Like you couldn't leave your house if you didn't get this vaccine.
Yeah, it was terrible for people in Australia who were literally, people forget about this all the time. People in Australia were literally sent to camps, actual camps, where they had 5 to 10 minutes of outdoor time. Then they had to go back inside. People, and this was public. Australia was proud of this. This was public.
Yeah.
This isn't a conspiracy theory. Like, they were proud of these camps. They would place them in these camps, especially people who refused to get it. And freaking go out on beaches tackling people. And going out on, freaking getting people that were surfing, tackling them. I'm just like, these people are freaking psychotic. But it goes all the way back to throwing shit at the wall, like she was saying earlier, and see what sticks, and seeing what will stick. And it seems like this is something that actually stuck for a lot of people. I think they found, one of their things that they can play with. Get
I
like,
see a lot of people still wearing masks.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of weirdos.
To live, they were so serious about staying indoors that there were so many cops that would drive around, and if they've seen you out, they would stop you and ask why you were out. Are you going to work? Like, you had to have an excuse, and at one point, you had to have a letter from your work stating that you were an essential worker. That's just the absolute extreme to me, and why.
Law type stuff, and that stuff I experienced while I was in Ukraine, and I was out after curfew, and the cops stopped me and they searched me and they asked me questions and stuff like that. So I was understanding over there. They're at war. They don't know me. I'm a freaking foreigner there, but to experience that stuff here in the U.S., it's insanity, absolute insanity.
It is. So fight back. Get yourself AI that'll talk about vaccines. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're gonna call it an end. We're gonna wrap it up right now. I ain't got too much else to say. I actually have a lot to say, but it's late, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But I could talk about vaccines forever. Forever. The White House actually made a public statement on that it was an actual lab leak, and that the vaccine itself really didn't do anything to prevent transmission. But that's an official statement from the White House.
Yep.
After everybody's been called crazy conspiracy theorists for saying that for X amount of time. But whatever. I was going to say this episode ain't about the vaccines, but I guess it did turn to an episode about the vaccines.
We went down a few different rabbit holes. This was a good time.
So shout out to the listeners, shout out to the chat. If you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, think about rubbing against that subscribe button, give it a stanky leg and tap in. Stay up to date with all Celestial broadcasts. Hit that like button, please, so that we can get it to the front page. And you guys got any last words?
Stay frosty. Yep. Stay frosty. Sometimes the dog's got no teeth. Just look it in the eyes and throw a rock at it. Face it. Face down your terrors.
Yeah, my last words would be look for the hidden hand. Look for the hidden hand and start that arm wrestle match.
There you go.
Because a lot of people
let's go.
A lot of people,
Arm the center.
They turn a blind eye to the hidden hand that sort of rules their life and limits your free will.
Mm-hmm.
And we live in our little comfortable bubbles where we've kind of forgotten that all the pioneers that have built new types of societies in order that we may gain more freedom, whether it be religious freedom, political freedom, just any all these types of freedoms were built on struggle and strife until we got that upgraded, until we got that new light code.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And in every age, a new level of stability happens, but then some other strife comes up out of the woodworks behind from the hidden hand. And we have to use these moments to progress our personal evolution to be used as a catalyst to actually remind ourselves that we need to participate in society, that we need to grow our mind body spirit complex and not stagnate, because the world will take you in a direction just because you're in the stream and it's a fast flowing current. But if you're trying to escape that material gravity, you want to get your mental into the next plane, you want to get those higher light codes,
No.
you have to be able to raise yourself out of that time stream.
Yeah.
And it's not that, it's it's a little bit of a Matrix analogy, but remember, in the Matrix, they come back into the Matrix and they keep participating in the Matrix, even though they know it's not the real land. And they find the people that also want to be awake and they help them be awake. But they don't force, even Neo at the end of the Matrix doesn't force everyone to wake up. That's also not necessarily the purpose of the universe. You can't force anyone to wake up, but you can live your best life. You can hit your potential, and that will inevitably inspire those around you and bring the people that want to participate in that same journey. So those are my words of power for this podcast. We're going deep. We're getting to the real, and hope that motivates everyone. And
Got me ready for another round. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I guess we're ending it with words of power. So, like you said, bro, you are now in the Matrix, literally, planet Earth, right here, right now.
You are the Men in Black.
If you're hearing this, if you're hearing this, you're part of the resistance. You see that shit? They didn't want us to tell you this. You are literally a cosmic citizen on planet Earth. It's going to take all of us banding together in order to change this. You are the key. I'm not saying it to everybody, but I'm saying it to everybody. You are the key. And if we all step up together and increase our mind, body, spirit potentials, if we do it as a unified group, we can probably take the power back from the people in charge. It's power to the people. We, the people, we're in charge. A lot of people think that there are certain powers that be that are in charge, but we're in charge. So if you choose not to get involved in that bullshit materialism, cars, clothes, hoes, Ferraris, diamonds, I mean, it's fun, it's cool, but if you don't let that suck you into that black hole of nothingness, and you take a step back and snap out of it and say, holy shit, dude, I'm a cosmic celestial being who's supposed to be starting my cosmic career and hitting my potential. If you do that, then you take power away from them. So we all need to wake up. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but now you're conscious of it. You are more than what you think you are. So hit your potential. Try to help others do the same. There is the Illuminati and the pedophile reptilian. But that's not something you need to concern yourself about. Concern yourself about hitting your potential mentally, physically, and spiritually. And if we all do that at the exact same time, we don't need them anymore. We can just create our own social organization. And that's what we're trying to do here. So hit that subscribe button. Check out Project Initium on YouTube. Check out the AI script we got in the description. We out here. We done.
T-shirts too. We got
Hit that
T-shirts.
t-shirt. You got the t-shirts. With the t-shirts. But before we, check out this shit. I think I hear an intergalactic broadcast coming in right now. But before we get to that, oh fuck.
I gotta download the ad.
All right. Sorry, I got all hyped up. We were gonna go to the t-shirt ad. No t-shirt ad, but
don't you got the shirt with you? Bring it in right here. Bring it in now. It's probably in this room.
Imagine in your mind right now, guys. Go buy yourself a shirt. Links in the description. It really helps us out. It doesn't help us out, actually. Fuck us. Who gives a fuck about us? It helps out the planet, man. Only $21 to manufacture. We only make like a $9 profit. But those $9 that go, we're trying to make a mind, body, spirit app that goes in your pocket so that you can track your mind, body, spirit progress, and you can link up with other people in your vicinity and you guys can all grow together. It's going to be the future. It's going to take over social media. Right now, people are pressing upvote because you got a big Brazilian butt lift, that stupid fucking plastic surgery. They're pressing upvotes because you got diamonds and Ferraris. In the future, you think that that's what a galactic civilization does? Nope. In the future, they'll be upvoting and everybody will be growing because, damn, he just hit his max on his mental, spiritual, and physical levels, you know? That's what's going to be the new influence. That's what's going to be the new social progress wave. So we're trying to get that in everybody's pocket. The Mind, Body, Spirit app coming at you live so you can help others hit their potential by buying a t-shirt. That was the ad because we fucking didn't have the ad queued up in the fucking whatever the fuck it is. Planetary HQ. We out.